Photoshop CC 2018 has some very exciting improvements. Now, in my opinion, the enhancement that is pretty exciting is the brush presets. Now, the new brush presets panel allows you to group your presets into your own custom groups, which is pretty fantastic. So you can make your own custom little groups of brushes. And this means they can be organised quite quickly and efficiently. Now, in the past, if you wanted to capture all the information about your brush, you had to go and use a tool preset, because that's where all the things like the opacity and the flow and the blend modes, they were all stored as a tool preset, but you couldn't store them as part of a brush preset. So it made it a little bit difficult. Whereas now what Adobe have done is they've brought everything together. So now this works absolutely perfectly. Now, a big problem for me always was with the tool presets that you didn't have a preview of the brush. And I like my preview so I can see what I'm actually going to be working with. Now, the enhanced brush presets allow you to save all the custom brushes that you've made with all the information that you need in custom little folders. Is that not amazing? Well, I'm very excited about this. So let me show you how this works. My name's Ken Fisher and this is LiveLink Training. Well, I do hope you find this video useful. If you do, then please give me a thumbs up or leave me a comment under the video. And please click that subscribe button and help me grow my Photoshop learning community and to keep you involved with what I'm doing. And please, if you're passing on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, call by and give me a like or give me a retweet. That will be fantastic. Okay then, well, let's crack on. Okay, let's start by selecting the brush tool, and we can do that by pressing B on the keyboard, or you can go into the tool panel and click on the brush tool. Now we go into our window menu and we're going to select brush settings. Now this is where we can engineer and design our brush. Now this isn't a tutorial on making a brush particularly, so I'm just going to make one quickly. And let's have a look what we can do. We've got we'll put a brush tip shape. So the first thing I'm going to do, let's try and flatten that down a little bit and put it at a little bit of a cockly angle, like that. We'll try some spacing, a little bit of spacing, and let's try a bit of scattering. So we'll scatter on both axes, a little bit of scatter, a little bit of count, and a little bit of count jitter. That's not looking bad. That's not looking bad at all. You can see the brush there. Then we'll put a little bit size jitter. I mean, jitter's a weird word. It basically means a little bit of randomness. So you can see by the angle jitter, see when I've got 0 angle jitter, all the lines are going in the same direction. But when I put a bit of jitter in, they all turn round in different directions. A bit of roundness, jitter, and we'll leave it. I think we'll leave it at that. That's not bad. Ooh, just a minute, let's take that off a little bit. There we go. It's just to make it a little bit of an unusual brush. Okay, let's add a new layer to the layers panel so I can just show you the brush in action, but I don't want to paint on that layer. So I'm going to press the keyboard shortcut Control Shift and N to bring me up the new layer. I'll leave it set at layer 1 and we'll click OK. So I've now got a blank layer on the top of the stack. So we'll just take the brush panel just out the way a little bit so we can see. And what are we on? We've got quite big. Let's just give it a click and a drag. We've got black as this foreground colour. And now we'll make it a little bit bigger. We'll just undo that with Control or Command and Z. And then I'll make it a little bit bigger with the square brackets keys. And then we'll give it a click and a drag. And you can see now that this is the new brush that I've actually created. And it's painted with black because black is the foreground colour. Now we can change the foreground colour. So we'll change it from foreground colour of black to, let's say, red, a nice bright red colour, and then we can paint another strip, and we'll see that we've got exactly the same but in red. Then we could change some of these parameters in the tool itself. So we could say change the opacity to 50%. Just go down to something like that, 45, 50. Or if we've got a brush tool open, I can just press the 5 on the keyboard. And what that will do is bring me to 50%. And then the flow will drop that to 50% as well. And I'll just press Shift and 5 for that to bring that to 50%. We'll leave the smoothing set to 0. And then you can see here that if I draw, oh, you can't see it very well, I'll draw it up here a little bit. You see that I've got a brush now that every time I sweep over it, it increases in density. Now in older versions of Photoshop, if I wanted to save like the blend mode or the opacity or the flow, any of those parameters that's in the tool options bar, I had to do it in a tool preset because that's where they were. They were in the tool options bar here. Now if I try and do that, go that little drop down box here, and then I'll go over and click to save a new tool preset. Adobe gives me a little dialog box, and it said, would you like to create a brush preset instead? It says they recommend doing so because brush presets now contain all the functionality of tool presets, so we can save everything that we had in tool presets. We can save this now into a brush preset, which is fantastic. So I'm going to say yes, okay, I'm going to do that. So I'm going to save this out now as a new brush preset. So I'll give it a name as, we'll call it KF hard elliptical 500. We'll leave it at that, just get rid of that one. But now there's 3 options in here, and if you tick them all, you can capture the brush size in the preset, which is fabulous. You can include all the tool settings, which is the opacity, the blend mode, the flow, the smoothing, all that kind of stuff, and you can include the color. Brilliant. So I'm going to click OK. And now if I go to my brushes panel, and you can see here that that last brush is the one that I've made just now, the KF hard elliptical 500 brush. And I'll just show you, if I go and select any other brush and I can draw with it, you can see that's definitely another brush. But if I go back to that brush, I've got me like a scatter brush. I'll change the colour a bit, let's see, so we can see it a bit better. Let's go for a bright green. Oh, that's not very good either, but anyway, but you can see what's happening there. It's changed the colour of the brush and the status of the brush back to what it was. So what about them tool presets, the hundreds of them that you've made over the years? Are they all lost? Well, no. Adobe have given us a way of actually converting them all in one go to brush presets. So we're going to go over to the presets panel, the brush presets panel, and we're going to click on the cog wheel, and then down at the bottom here it says convert all to brush presets, and what that will do is convert any existing tool preset to a brush preset. Is that not cool? Now let's have a look at organization of brushes. Now, as well as being able to create our own presets now containing all the important information that we've looked at previously, we've now got a new method of organizing our brush presets, and we do that by using groups. Now how does that work? Well, if I go down to the bottom of the brushes panel, now you can see that we've got another symbol now for groups, and if I click on that, it's like a little folder, and it'll give me a group name dialog box. So we'll call this Ken's Faves, and we'll click OK. So you can see now I've got an empty group called Ken's Faves, and if I click this little triangle, this closure triangle here, I can close it up or I can open it up. And what I can do now is from anywhere I can click and drag a brush and I can drop it into that folder. So now my new brush, my KF hard elliptical 500, is now in Ken's Faves. So you can see it does give us a lot of leeway with actually tidying up and organising and making an efficient access to all our brushes. Now, even more than this, you can nest folders or nest groups. And what this means is you can put a group within a group. So here we are, where let's just click on to activate Ken's Faves, which has got me brushing. And then what I can do is say, well, we'll create another group in there and we'll call this elliptical. We may want to subdivide, so I'll call that elliptical. And now I can drag that folder and drop it inside of Ken's Faves. So I've now got Ken's Faves with a brush in and a folder called elliptical with nothing in. But what I can do is now drag me elliptical 500 brush and drop it into my elliptical group. And then I can close that down and everything's nice and tidy. And close that down as well. And you can see we've got all these brushes now stored, but they're not taking up 13 feet of panel. We can get them down into organizational groups. So that's it, a new feature in Photoshop CC 2018. The new brush presets now contain all the information from the tool presets and can be saved in custom groups of your making. Now I do hope you found that useful. If you did, please give me a thumbs up or leave me a comment under the video. And please click on that subscribe button to help me grow my Photoshop learning community and keep you in touch with what I'm doing. And please, if you're passing on Facebook, Twitter or Instagram, give me a like or a retweet. The links are in the More section under the video. Well, that's it for now. I'll see you in the very next video. Bye for now.